Hello, and welcome back to day 3 of learning the laws of Lashon Hara with the Chafetz Chaim, a daily companion. We are on day 3, Satan's accomplice. Now, I just want to start off by saying that I heard something really nice today that said that we keep davening and praying that the coronavirus should go away, but what we should really be praying for is that Mashiach should come, because once Mashiach comes, a lot of our suffering will go away. We'll have prophets, so we'll be able to know why certain things are happening to us. And, I know the Chafetz Chaim in the previous chapters has mentioned, that the reason why we are still in Galus, in exile, is because of Lashon Hara. And just to understand how important it is to be out of exile, not only will the coronavirus be gone, but so much of our suffering will be healed as well, which is why it's so important. So in this chapter, the Chafetz Chaim explains that he's already explained in past chapters about how Mashiach is not here today because of our sin of Lashon Hara, but he wants you to understand the severity of Lashon Hara. So he continues to go into how severe Lashon Hara is. He says that Lashon Hara is what causes the Judaical system in heaven, the judicial system in heaven, to open up against us. So what does he mean? He says that the Satan is always out to get us. So he always wants to show Hashem our ways and how we're not good. But Hashem loves us. So a lot of the times he's ignoring the Satan, except when we speak badly about one another, the Satan almost gets free reign. Hashem opens his ears, so to speak. The Satan will say, look, you think so-and-so, you think Rivkala is so great. She is right now sitting there speaking about all her friends. And it really opens up the heavenly courts to judge us, and a lot of bad things can come from that. Now listen to what the Zohar says. We started learning this together because we have this plague right now, and because there's so much going on in the world, and we wanted to do this in a merit that things should get better. Listen what the Zohar says about Lashon Hara. This sin brings plague, sword, and murder to this world. Woe to those who awaken this evil force, who do not guard their tongues and pay no heed to this. They do not realize that the ways of heaven are reflective of the ways on this world, both for good and for bad. Through evil talk, Satan is aroused to voice accusation against the entire world. The Chafetz Chaim then goes on to explain even more why Lashon Hara is so damaging. And he says, Lashon Hara is an interesting thing because it utilizes your power of speech. It utilizes your tool, your mouth. Now, our mouths are also a great weapon in our lives in a good way. We use our mouths to pray, which has always been the Jewish answer to things. We use our mouths to learn Torah. Now, what happens when you take that tool that is meant for so much good and you contaminate it with so much bad by speaking badly about one another? So he says it basically prevents our Torah and our tefillah from ascending heavenward. So he says, if our Torah and tefillah are not being credited to us, from where will we acquire the necessary merit to bring Mashiach and the final redemption? So the way it was once explained to me from a teacher is that when you're making Jell-O, if you want to make your Jell-O really fancy and you want to put little fruits in it, you let your Jell-O congeal a little bit, and then when it's a little bit harder, you drop the fruits into it. And then halfway through the Jell-O, the fruits kind of freeze. And she said it's kind of like what our prayers are like when we speak Lashon Hara. She said the prayers come out of our mouths, but they're not powerful mouths. It's not like a bow and arrow that's being shot really hard and well. It's a little bit of a weaker shot. So our prayers get stuck somewhere between heaven and earth. And only by correcting our speech and by speaking more in the ways that we're supposed to can we now release those prayers and let them get into heaven. Kind of like the fruit that's stuck in the bowl that doesn't go all the way fully down. It gets congealed inside the Jell-O. That's why it's such a big thing to ask a tzaddik, a great person, to pray for you, because their mouths are so pure and they're not sitting around talking about people every day, that they have a certain power of tefillah more than the regular person because their whole mouth is pure. So we really see here how important it is that, we speak well. Just to conclude, he says, all the words of Torah and Tefillah are hanging somewhere between heaven and earth, suspended in the air. So if we want our prayers to hit hard and hit strong, we need to be coming with a strong bow and arrow. But if that bow and arrow is all tainted, it's weak, and the prayers can't go as strongly into heaven. So I hope this hits home to us and we're able to really work on our speech. Have a great day.